Welcome to SWP, the Swedish Wrestling Podcast. Yes, hello and welcome to a new episode of the Swedish Wrestling Podcast. Today, when I record this, it's Sunday morning, and in a few hours, it's the Revolution pay-per-view for AEW. I'm really looking forward to that pay-per-view. The card is stacked with a lot of matches. A friend of mine asked yesterday if there was any match that I was looking forward to on the card, and I said to him, yeah, the tag match, of course, Punk MJF, it's going to be great, I think. Hangman versus Cole. And then I was thinking, but then we have Mox and Bryan. That would be good. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. The ladder match. So the card is stacked with potentially 5-star matches all over. So the pay-per-view, I hope it will be awesome. It will be awesome. I'm sure of it. So thank you for tuning in to this episode. I'm going to talk about Rampage. If you like this podcast, you can support it on patreon.com/SWP support. I would be very grateful for that. So this Friday we had AEW Rampage, and we started off as they usually do on Rampage with a very, very, very good match. It was the triple threat match for the TNT Championship. Sammy Guevara champion versus Darby Allin and Andrade. We have two faces here, and the heel Andrade, and sometimes it's the other way around, and both the heels team up on the babyface champion, but Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin are going to team on Revolution, so they teamed up here as well to take on Andrade in the beginning. But as soon as there was a pinfall, Darby Allin trying to pin Andrade, Sammy Guevara broke that up. So it's the ongoing thing in wrestling. Will they coexist? It's one of wrestling's big questions, if wrestlers are going to coexist or not, and more often than not they don't coexist, even if they are very good friends and they are faces and everything. So when it comes down to it and they want to win a title or win a match, then it's everybody for themselves. So, but as I said, a great match. They started off in a very high tempo. There's three great wrestlers here. When AEW started, and Sammy Guevara was one of the first wrestlers that was announced. I think I had seen him somewhere else in AAA or maybe MLW or some. I'm not sure where I had seen him, but I must say I didn't like him very much. I thought this influencer gimmick was kind of lame. I didn't have high thoughts about him, but now he's one of my favorite wrestlers. He's so good. He dropped this influencer gimmick. Now Jericho picked that up instead. I don't know if that's good or not, but anyway, Sammy Guevara, he does these amazing moves, and he's so smooth in his wrestling, so I like him a lot. And I think this TNT title run that he has had this past month, and particularly after he won the TNT title back from Cody when he was the interim TNT champion, and then they had this match, this great match where he unified the belts or whatever. Yeah, became the legit TNT champion. This run has been awesome, and for an open challenge point of view, I think he had what did they say? 7 title defenses after he won back the title. So for once, this open challenge has been it has been great. So but next week he will meet Scorpio Sky. I hope for everything I got. I hope that Sammy Guevara retains the title, and I want to be him. I want him to be the TNT champion for a long time. He's a great wrestler, and they did some spectacular moves here, especially the Tower of Doom. Andrade picked up Sammy Guevara for a power bomb, and Sammy Guevara had Darby Allin for a suplex, and they stood there for quite some seconds, and then they hit the Tower of Doom. So it was an awesome move. I'm not going to go into everything they did, just that I found it amazing, and this was so good of a match, the best match in a long time, I think. If I have one negative thing to say, it's not about the match, it's not about the wrestlers, but it's about the production at AEW. I understand that in this type of matches, there are a lot of things happening at the same time. The wrestlers come from left to right, do their moves, their flips, their whatever, and I don't know how much the production crew knows of what is going to happen. But more often than not, they miss these key moves, and they really did that here when Darby Allin had Andrade for the pin, and the referee was counting. Sammy Guevara comes in for the save. He has been on the outside. He goes up in the corner on the top rope, and he does a move. What move? I don't know, because I just saw him for a glimpse of a second when he broke up the pinfall for Darby Allin, and then pinned Andrade himself. So I think this happens a little too much. I understand that it's very difficult to know everything, and it happens so fast, and especially these matches where there are a lot of wrestlers and they do a lot of things at the same time. But for me as a viewer, it takes me down a notch when I miss these key moves, and especially this one. It's a big key move, because here Sammy Guevara breaks up the pinfall and then pins Andrade, and I don't get to see what he did. Did he what move did he do? But a great match. I wonder who's going to win the ladder match here on Sunday and challenge Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship, if he retains it on Wednesday. Of course, he will. Yeah, then we have an in-ring promo with Pac, Penta, and Alex Abrahantes. The House of Black comes in, and Abrahantes says there are 3 of them who is going to face the House of Black on Sunday. But then he says there are 3 of us, but the third one, he applies that the third one first. He applies that the third one is him, but then he said it's not me. It's Eric Redbeard who enters, formerly known as Eric Rowan in WWE. I don't know what I'm going to think about this. I wasn't thrilled when he entered, but I wasn't disappointed either. I think the match they will have on Sunday will be great, so there's no problem there. I think Eric Redbeard have been on AEW before, so it's not his debut, but yeah, they will have a great match. I'm sure of it. So it will be fine. There's 6 great wrestlers here, so they will put on a show for sure. But I don't know how much injury time Ray Phoenix has, but I'm looking forward to him to come back and finally to see this Death Triangle for real. There have been, for a lot of reasons, it's been some back and forth with them. I think there have been injuries, there have been the pandemic, the Pac couldn't enter the country because of the pandemic, and so on and so on. So on another note, now we have some trios matches here. We have this on Sunday, and we have these trios matches now and then. And I think if AEW should do another belt, there better not be inflation in belts, of course, but I think a trios belt would be great. I loved it in Lucha Underground and in other companies that has these trios tag team championships. I would really enjoy more of those matches, and if there was a championship belt for the trios matches as well. So, and Dan Lambert, he has managed to get this TNT championship match for Scorpio Sky. Finally, he managed to do that. I think Scorpio Sky is a great wrestler. I don't think this Man of the Year and has been so much fun with him and Ethan Page. Dan Lambert's promos, of course, they are great. He's wonderful on the microphone, so no complaints there. But I don't get very excited when I see Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. I think Scorpio Sky is a great wrestler, so but this hasn't done much for me. So, but I hopefully they will put on a great match on Wednesday, Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara. Then we have Keith Lee versus Jade Drake, not a squash match, which I liked. Although I want Keith Lee to look good and to look strong, and I think he did. He did these power moves where Jade Drake is not a small wrestler, so Keith Lee picked him up and he ended with the Big Bang Catastrophe. I don't know if it's called that anymore, but his finisher anyway, and it looked great. So. A nice little match. Jade Drake is the jobber here, but he does a nice job, and both wrestlers gets to look good, and of course Keith Lee is the star. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do in this ladder match. We have. I spoke about this before, that we have three big wrestlers, Keith Lee, Hobbs, and Wardlow in this match, and now they added Starks and Orange Cassidy, and later we will see that Christian, the ladder match veteran, will be the last competitor for this ladder match. Even though Keith Lee is a big wrestler, he has he doesn't have the size of a high flyer or a ladder match expert, but I'm sure he will do some awesome moves here, and I think he will come out as the star after this ladder match. And I suppose they put in Christian there for his veteran skills. He has done a lot of ladder matches throughout the years, so maybe he's the one who's going to glue everything together and make it a great and awesome match. And I like Christian very much, and I think he will make an excellent competitor in this match as well. So after the match versus Keith Lee and Jade Drake, we have the Wingman who attacks him, and Keith Lee gets to squash them. It's always nice to see Peter Evelyn gets squashed. Please squash him some more, so he don't need to enter at all. Actually, yeah. Then we have a backstage segment from this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. We see the doctors are taking care of CM Punk, a bloodied up CM Punk, and he cuts what a surprise, a great promo again about MJF, and now he's pissed off because both, I think, because he was attacked, of course, but also I think it's because he feels a bit betrayed because he bought into this crying MJF and thought the things he said was real, and he meant it, that he was genuinely sad about everything that happened to him. MJF is going to get it on Sunday, I believe. So that I think it will be a great match. I personally would have liked if they didn't have this dog collar thing. I think that maybe it's a bit. I understand that it makes the match more. How should I say this? More cruel in some way, but at the same time, I think I think it will limit them to certain moves, to certain things that they can do, because they have both have these dog collars on with this chain between them, but probably it will be not so much moves, of course, high flying moves in that way, because of the dog collar. So it will be more of a slugging fest where they beat the shit out of each other, and maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe it will be awesome. It will be awesome. I think that MJF has put on some great matches, and CM Punk has been very good since he returned. So it will be good, but maybe for on a personal, my personal opinion would be that I didn't want this stipulation, but we'll see. Maybe they will convince me that it was the right thing to do, and of course it's a grudge match. So Taya Conte attacks Jade Cargill for their match, and we have the Serena Deeb 5 minute challenge, and for once this was a good match because it was under 60 seconds. So but the good thing here, it wasn't the match, it was that Hikaru Shida entered, and boy didn't she. Yeah, she really went with the candlestick here and beat the living hell out of Serena Deeb. So this I like. Renew their rivalry, and hopefully they will have another great match, and this 5 minute challenge is over. Then we have Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. They are ready for their match on Sunday. It will be great. I'm saying that about every match. So and then we have the main event. It's the qualification match for the Revolution ladder match, and it's Christian versus Ethan Page here. They put on a good match. It's hard to compare with the start of this show. I have nothing negative to say about the match. It's a match. I'm entertained. I was a little surprised that Christian won. I'm glad he's won. I like Christian. Nowadays I do. In 2000, One when Christian and Edge teamed up against my two favorite tag teams, the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. I wasn't a very big fan of Christian. You can say that I hated Christian, and I hated when Edge and Christian won. I didn't think they were a good tag team, and I wanted mostly the Hardy Boys to win, but also the Dudley Boys. Now with some perspective, there couldn't have been Hardy Boys and Dudley Boys without Edge and Christian either, and all the amazing matches they did, the TLCs and all other matches. But when you're really into it and you're really into a team and or a wrestler, you don't see things clearly, and I didn't want to see. I didn't back then. I didn't watch wrestling as I do now, because when I do this podcast and when I've done podcast before, I have to watch wrestling with another set of eyes, more analytic in a way, and sometimes that takes away things from the wrestling, because I watch wrestling and I think, why did they do that, and and I have to analyze a lot of things. And back in the day when I started watch wrestling, and until I started to podcast in some way, I just sat down. I had my favorites. I cheered for my favorites, and booed for the heels, or the ones I didn't like. It didn't need to be a heel for me to boo them. If there was a wrestler I didn't like, I booed them, of course. But anyway, I think I like Christian more now as a single competitor. I understand that when he arrived to AEW, they made this. They tried to make it a big debut, this huge announcement again that sometimes fall a bit flat, and I understand that when Christian arrived, it fell a bit flat, and for me it wasn't a big debut like whatever, CM Punk, Adam Cole, any other wrestler, but I really like to see him in AEW. I like the manager role he has now with the Jurassic Park. I almost said, but the Jurassic Express, I liked him. I really liked the feud he had with Omega. I love that he won over Omega for the Impact Championship. More matches with Christians, I suppose. Unfortunately for Ethan Page, then he did not qualify. Christian did. So there we have the competitors for the Revolution ladder match on Sunday. Jurassic Express comes in to celebrate with Christian after the match, and of course we have the Bucks and the Red Dragon to do a little bit of a stare down there. And Jungle Boy does a move over the top rope down on the Bucks and the Red Dragon. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to this Sunday's Revolution. Two great episodes this week from AEW, the Go Home Dynamite and this Friday's Rampage. And the best match, of course, was Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Andrade for the TNT Championship. It was the high point of all this. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and now we are looking forward to Revolution, and next week I will be back with 3 episodes, one on Revolution and then Dynamite and Rampage again. Thank you for listening. Please support me at patreon.com/SWP support. Have a nice Sunday, everybody. Bye.